get started, let's have Mr. Locario jump on, but I'm going to tell you about him a little bit more.
Okay.
So Mr. Locario, he has been featured on VH1, ABC Family, The Tyra Banks Show, and Anderson Cooper, just to name a few. And he's also written for several news publications, too many to mention. But Mr. Locario is different from other relationship gurus because of his no nonsense, no BS, realistic approach to the dating game and the game of life. His approach is to give men and women the knowledge, truth, and confidence to understand what they want, thus helping create the best options for themselves in love and in life. And he's written 3 books. One of them, just so you know, oh, hi, Nick Rickshaw. Rishwain, I say your name wrong every time, but one of them is how to get laid 2 times in a day. If that is not intriguing to you, then I don't know, but I can't wait to start asking you lots of questions. Welcome to our show.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing? What's up?
Great.
This is like get laid with 2 women. Actually, the book is called How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day, but I don't know how.
Did I screw it up?
How the show was. I didn't want to, I don't want to.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's just dive in.
Yeah.
What does this mean, and what are you suggesting? I mean, because this sounds like a trap to obtaining an STD. So
not at all. Not at all. Well, basically the book, How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day, it's a book for men. And so what happens is a lot of guys go through a stage where they actually want to have sex with multiple women. So this book sort of teaches them how to do it, how to do it safely. So I'll put together a book that'll make it easy for guys to know how to do it, So
cool. You're literally talking about doing it.
Yeah.
With two women a day.
If they want. The thing is, most guys aren't going to want to once they get to that point. Like they'll probably try it once or twice, but it's basically about giving them options. Because a lot of guys don't have options. That's like the biggest deal for men is that they don't have options. Like for a woman, you could go online right now. Both of you ladies, you're both attractive. You go online right now, you'll probably get like 50 messages by the end of the day. For a guy, we have to contact 100 girls and maybe one will, respond to us. You see what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how
I've heard that.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, so on the it's different for us. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so are you saying that for men, and I told you before the show, it's been a long, long, long time since I've dated. Yeah. So I know nothing about dating anymore. But are you saying that most single men, is that kind of what they're hoping for, is to hook up with someone and have a little quickie?
Well, men and women basically want the same things, but we just want it at different times. So for men aren't technically looking for a relationship on the front end. Most guys aren't. Most guys are looking for sex on the front end and then relationship on the back end. So a guy, he's more so like if he meets a girl off an online dating site or he meets a girl at a party or whatever, they go on dates, he's trying to figure out, how do I get sex? You know what I mean? And then after that, if he likes her, if he likes the sex, if she's a cool person, then maybe if he's like really feeling her, that's when he'll be thinking about a relationship. But he's not really like guys aren't going out on a Friday night with their friends saying, oh, I hope I meet, a girl or the one tonight. You know what I mean? Like that's not how guys generally think. You know what I mean?
So pause. Let's just pause. First of all, I need to see your eyes. Can you turn your camera up just a little bit? Because that bar is right over your eyes. Okay.
That good?
That's good. Yeah,
that's perfect.
Okay. The market for the people in this book would be college age is what I'm thinking. But am I right? What's the market in the audience?
Yeah. Most of the guys that would be, interested in this book generally would be like maybe the 18-year-olds to like 35-year-old, so that's like the range, You know what I mean? But there are guys who are, a little older who might also be into this because you got to understand for men, sex isn't really easy to get for guys. You understand? So a lot of times there are guys who are out there who are going 3, 6 months, even a year since the last time they had sex. You know what I mean? So they want to learn how to increase the chances of them actually being able to have access to sex more.
Right.
You see what I mean?
And it depends on the stage of their life. So if they're if they're like Mark, 34, but divorced, maybe they're open to having that type of lifestyle again.
Yeah, and it depends, and it also depends on like that guy. So let's say, for example, Mark is 34, but he's only been with his wife. That's the only woman he's ever been with. he might be like, hey, I want to go and explore and, you know, see more women, you know, so he might be in that situation. But if Mark kind of was like a player, he had a lot of different girls before, he might say, you know what, I'm kind of done with all that. I just want to find me another woman to just be with, and that's that. So it all depends on the guy, but generally most guys are like, I want to, you know, like learn how to have more sex with more women, because this book is actually like my best-selling book. That's the number one thing that I sell the most. Yeah, so.
Did you hear what I thought your book was about? Were you able to hear that? And Midori suggested that you should make it your next book. So you can just give me props for coming up with the idea for you.
So tell him really quick.
But can you hear me?
Okay, you now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. So I thought that it was a way of saying that you can have one partner, but that partner can learn to become like another person. So to kind of keep it fresh in the bedroom. That's kind of what I thought you were actually going to say your book was about. But so I was kind of surprised.
No, I mean, that's fun too, you know. Yeah, it's literally like having more women, you know.
Right. Okay. It's literally the number.
Okay, so I have to ask a question.
Okay.
And I know that this has been an ongoing question forever. So for a woman who goes out and sleeps with a guy on the very first date, what do you think the percentage is that he's going to contact her again and want a serious relationship with her?
A serious relationship that he won't contact her.
Not just a booty call, but do you feel like
you're saying like the percentage of like how many men you saying how many men would actually have sex with a woman on the first date and actually want to pursue her for a relationship?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on the woman and that guy, because a lot of times women think if I have sex too quick or if I have sex on the first date, he's not going to take me seriously as a relationship material. The only time a guy really wants a relationship is when he's in that stage where he wants that, and that woman that he's in a situation with matches the type of woman he wants. So he could sleep with a woman on the first date and actually want to be with her for long term because he's really that attracted to her, he's really that into her. But he can sleep with a woman on the first date and just, you know, not be into her, because for a guy, we don't have to like you to have sex with you. You understand what I'm saying? So you might be with the guy and he'll have sex with you, but that's all he wanted to do because he's not really that into you. But then you could be with the guy, he's really into you. He's like, oh my God, this girl is awesome. And he'll have sex with you on the first night because he's really into you. And he'll want to call you the next day and see you again and again and again. The reason why a lot of women think that that's the case, where if they sleep with a guy on the first night, he's not going to call me back, or he's going to, you know, think I'm a slut or whatever, is because a lot of men sort of vocally say this, like, oh, if a woman sleeps with me too quick, I don't take her seriously. She's not wife material and everything like that. But they're just talking from what they've been hearing other men say. So it's not really how they are, because once they're in a situation, they might want to actually be with her and continue to be with her if they're really feeling her. You know what I mean? So there's always a difference between what people say they're going to do and what they actually do. And so that's the problem with relationships, is that people don't understand that. They don't know that.
I have that perspective on it. Like, if a guy is willing to sleep with me on the first date, he can't possibly be relationship material. You know, like I have that like.
So you're saying that he can't be a relationship material?
Yeah.
Why?
Like if he is because I'm not in it for that, and I would be looking for a relationship, not for sex. Now, if I was looking for sex, and that would be different. But
right, but you can have both. It's not like saying, well, if we have sex, there's no way we can have a relationship. You can have both. The thing is, we're caught up in like what society has conditioned us to think, and this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. Like for example, I'll give you an example. Like, people, they'll say one thing, but then they'll do the next. So I can sit here and say, if I saw Mike Tyson, I'd punch him in the face, right? I'll say that just to look tough.
Right.
But when Mike Tyson walks into the room, I'm probably not going to do it. So there's a difference between what I say and what I'm really going to do. So I could say, hey, I would never make a girl my girlfriend who I slept with on the first date. And then I meet some girl who I think is gorgeous. I think she's amazing. And we sleep together and I can't stop thinking about her and I want to continue to see her. You see what I mean? So there's always a difference of how you really respond or react, you know?
Okay, yeah. What causes people to become so unhappy when they're in relationships? Is it because there's not enough sex? Is that what you're saying? Or if they're in a relationship.
Oh, what causes someone to be unhappy in a relationship? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Usually the main thing that causes people to be unhappy in relationships is their partner. They don't feel freedom with their partner. So what that means is a lot of times when we get into relationships, we feel like we're sacrificing too much of ourselves to please our partner. So it doesn't really have anything to do with sex. It could be anything, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're with someone, you want to feel good with them. You don't want to feel like you're being too sacrificial with them. So what that means is, if I'm in a relationship with you, if we're doing like 5 different things, and let's say 4 of those things we're doing, I really don't feel like doing it, I don't feel like participating, but I'm only doing it for you, then I'm going to be frustrated, and vice versa. You see what I mean? So it's, and this is where communication comes in, because if a man and a woman are communicating with each other and saying, hey, this is what I'm into, this is what I'm not into, this is what I love doing with you, sometimes I might need space for myself. If you have that communication, you'll have a better relationship, versus people sort of just go along with the flow, even though they're not happy. And it's like you kind of, get resentful and all this other stuff because there's no communication going on. So that's like the main part.
Yeah.
Like upset.
Well, even
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
No, but I think the communication is huge. I just did a webinar yesterday, and I did a survey of what their biggest topics or what their biggest problems were in the relationship, and communication every single time is communication. Right. But then also the other part of that for long-term relationships, because I know we have Mark on here who is married and has a new kid, is keeping it exciting and fun. I think people get bored. I think so. And they show you have to, when you first start dating, you get that dopamine high. You know what that is? Like where you have those little, the butterflies and you're excited. And they say that is the same chemical that's released when you do cocaine. I would not know, but this is what the scientists say. So that's what they say. And we crave it. We crave that kind of excitement. So when couples are together for a long time, like we were talking about, the empty nest syndrome, and they get bored and they don't have anything else that's keeping them connected, that's when they start pulling apart. So I think it's really important for couples to keep the excitement going on dates, having super cool goals.
I once dated a guy that had a real fear of like becoming boring. Like he thought that he was boring. He's like, I'm boring, right? And I was like, no. And I think that's a real fear. Is it?
I think some people are scared that they're not going to be enough for you, or they're not going to be interesting to you. You know what I mean? So they a lot of people have that fear that, at some point you're going to get bored or tired of me. And a lot of times that comes from their own like projection of what's really going on. So like they've been in probably a string of relationships where they were really into someone, and what happened is that person sort of like just stopped calling them, they broke up with them or whatever. So they feel like, oh, these people keep leaving me because I'm boring, I'm not interesting. And then that, is like what kind of happens with their new relationships,
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so what do you see for women? What are the biggest concerns from women coming to you? What are they saying about dating and what problems they're having?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing for women that I notice and that I get a lot of emails about is women wondering how to keep a guy interested. And so that's like a huge thing, because, they'll say, oh, I can get a guy to meet me for a date. They'll want to have sex with me, but then they just disappear. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is, I think what happens is that a lot of women sort of don't understand how men think and how men operate. So a lot of times women are listening to what certain guys are saying or doing to figure out if this is the type of guy who's going to be a long-term relationship type of dude or not, So it's just a lot of like sort of like wondering or understanding how men are and understanding what women have to do as women to keep the man interested,
Okay, so I have to ask you the follow-up question to that. Okay, so if I start dating some guy and I think he's cute, I'm pretty much into him, but I'm not sure about him, what are some little clues that I can look for that he's not just into sex with me? He is actually into me and he's not faking it.
Right. Well, see, this is the answer most women aren't going to like. The way to understand if a man isn't into you just for sex is this. You ready for it?
Yeah,
ready.
Have sex with him. Okay. Have sex with him. That's that's the only way you're going to know. That's literally the number one way you're going to know if a man's not into you just for sex. Because if it's like, okay, if I said to you, Midori, let's say I have $1 million, right? And I'm asking my friend, hey, is Midori just into me because of my money? You know what I mean? And then my friend will say, hey, how about you give a lot of that money away to charity? Now, if I give that money away and you still want to see me, it's because it was more than just the money. You see what I mean? So you have to get rid of the thing that you think is the reason why. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying a woman has to just go and have sex with everybody, but if that's if you like him and you want to have sex with him, it's okay to do that. But that's one of the main things you're going to find out, you know, if he's into you for sex or not. But there's other ways to figure it out. So certain other ways is, you know, but it takes a little bit longer. So if you're not having sex with him, you sort of have to see, you have to look at his engagement with you, meaning how, if let's say he would call you maybe like 2 or 3 times a week. And then it starts to go to once a week. Then it starts to go to, he's sort of hardly not calling you.
It's a longer term strategy.
I love your analogy though. You have to get rid of the thing that's in the way of helping you understand. You know, that's a good point.
So it's like, you know, but the easiest way, like I said, is the first way, which most women are like, no, I can't do that. You know, but that's like literally the way to know if he's just with you just for sex or not. You know.
So what does it take to make a relationship last?
Wow. So this is the interesting part. I've been married for 9 years. Well, I've been with my woman for 9 years, but we've been married for 2 years. So the main thing that that makes a relationship last is that both parties have to sort of be on the same page and respect each other's individuality. So what I mean is that, let's say, for example, a man and woman are together, and the guy in the relationship might want to hang out with his friends on the weekend sometime and go get a beer or whatever. And his girlfriend has to be okay with that and give him that space, and vice versa. You know, his wife might want to go and do something with her girlfriends and do this and do that. He has to give her that space to do that. You know what I mean? And also, you know, understanding like how your partner is and what they're about and what they like to do and what they don't like to do, and respecting that and honoring that as them as an individual. Because a lot of times the reason why relationships don't work is that you get two people that are together trying to, they're trying too hard to please the other person, versus you have two individuals who are happy just sharing their time together. So that's the best way to have a relationship, is share your time with that person. Don't look at that person as someone who is there to please you, but is someone who's there you just spend time with and enjoy. You understand? Because a lot of times, even when we say this is my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my wife or my husband, when you say my, you're implying ownership. Like, this is mine. I own you. You have to do what I need you to do to make me happy. And that's what messes up relationships. Instead of saying, look, I have to be happy within myself. You have to be happy within yourself. And then we come together and we share experiences. You see what I mean? And that's what makes a relationship, more fruitful in the long run.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really good point to make, because so it's kind of that domineering type of thing sometimes too, that I see in some relationships where one person's more submissive, you know what I mean? Which can still work, but sometimes the person is so submissive, I call it the doormat issue. And then the other person starts becoming even more controlling, and then that ends up in disaster.
Oh yeah, that's not good either.
That's not good.
No, you don't want to. I definitely don't. I'm so independent. I don't want to feel tied down. I don't want to feel like I have to do everything with you. I do need lots of space. Like, I'm just this independent person. And if you do come in on my space like that, I feel like tied down, like I can't breathe, and like I have to lose part of myself in order to be with you, which isn't necessarily the way I think it should work, just like you were saying.
Right.
And then I end up resenting them. Like, it was because of you that I gave this up, or I haven't been able to do this.
Exactly right.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah. Okay, so I have to ask you this question, because I did check you out a little bit before the show. Tell us about this concept of giving off paper. What's that mean?
No, I was saying, I did a video where I was saying that it's talking about like guys giving women money or using money to attract women. And a lot of guys think that's like the easiest way to do it. Like, you can get a prostitute and, have sex or whatever like that, that can happen. But as far as like, a lot of guys think and giving off paper means you need to give off some money in order to get attention and to get like affection from a woman. So I usually advocate for guys not to do that, because usually what happens is when you do that, you you just attract more of the type of woman who's just going to use you for your your money, but it's not really anything that's substantial. You know what I mean? So if you want to have that sort of financial relationship, that's cool if that's, if you're okay with that. But at the same time, you can't, mistake that for anything, more authentic as far as them really, liking the person you are versus what you can do for them. You know what I mean? Or that, that monetary gain. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as your money goes, they're going to go. A lot of guys, they're conditioned to think that in order to attract women, that if they had money, it'll be easier. Or if I had more money, I can just buy her drinks, give her gifts, buy her this and buy her that, and buy her affection. And sometimes you can, that works, but it's not really, it's just, you're just, you're basically paying for a prostitute. Because if a woman is just with you just for the money, that technically makes her a prostitute. You know what I mean? So that's
right.
Okay, wait. I have to follow up on this. I have to challenge you just a little bit on this, because for me, if something happened to my husband, which God forbid, and all of a sudden I go out and I start dating again, I am going to be looking for that gentleman who is willing to pay for dinner. And, I have my own money, so that's not really my concern. I think it also just depends on what stage you're at in your life. But I'm going to be looking for that gentleman who will pay for dinner, who will buy the cocktails, because it shows me that, one, he is successful. That's what I'm looking for. Someone who is not, has some statute.
Right.
Does that make sense? Without sounding
that's totally different than what I'm talking. I'm talking about a woman who's literally just like, her top priority is to get his money. Like, you don't care about anything but money and being pampered and taken care of. So you're talking about, I'm trying to find a guy to share my experiences with and have a good time. And I would prefer this guy to have something going on so that we can make this happen. That's different. I'm talking about, there's literally women out there who actually did a Nightline show about this, where this woman goes out and she looks for guys to pay for her dinner. That's how she eats dinner every week. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
When you come, we'll go try that. How about that?
Right.
Do that. I mean, I could do it for fun, but like, that's just devastating.
My person who does my hair, she's on those match.com and stuff, and she said it's easy to get a date for women, but for the guys, it's harder.
Oh yeah, it's definitely harder. It's like, if you ladies had to be a dude, you would just lose your minds.
But you know what? You know what though too? Like, because I'm on some of these sites or whatever. I usually will strike up a conversation so that the man doesn't have to or whatever. But they want to like do all this small talk and stuff, and I'm like, I don't have time to sit and small talk through a messaging platform. So like, get to it, like.
Right, and that is.
And so they drag their feet, and I just lose interest because I don't have time to sit and do that.
Right, and that you know why that happens, and this is what I was talking about earlier.
So it's really the guy's fault. It's not that it's hard for him to get a date. I would have gone on a date with him. He just drags his feet.
Right. But, I'm going to tell you why they do that. And this is what I said again with misinformation, is that a lot of times when men are getting advice, they probably get advice from women or their mom or their female cousin or whatever. And they always hear women say, hey, I want, like, a guy will be up front, but a woman will say, I come on, let's take time to get to know me. I want you to get to know me more. I want to get to know you more. So guys think they have to do all that small talk to get to know you because they think that's what you want. So now they're trying to do what they think you need in order for you to get comfortable to date them. Instead of them just actually being upfront, they think they have to go and do all those different things. So this is why I try to teach men how to, approach women and have them and have a situation where women will respond to them in the way that will be beneficial for him and the woman that he's talking to. Because I get a lot of complaints about that from women where they'll be online and they're like, these guys just go on and on and on and on and on and never plan a date, So
yeah, it's like, what do you want to do? Just sit over there and talk?
Right.
Okay, so since we have so many guys on the show right now, let's give them some tips.
Right.
What would you say to a gentleman who is trying to find a date? What are some quick little tips they can put in their pocket?
Right. Well, one I would say is that men have to be a little bit more bold, meaning you have to be able to be brave enough to approach women and talk to them. A lot of guys are scared to actually go up and say something, Two, I would say get to the point, meaning that, like we were saying earlier, a lot of times you'll go on and on, you see women say, hey, listen, what are you doing Friday night? here's my number, let me get your number, we'll get together and make something happen. So get to the point. Also, I would tell guys when they go on first dates, right? First dates, only go on something that's going to cost you maybe like $20 or less. I usually say $10, but you can bump it to 20. So get a drink, get some coffee or something small, because you're still seeing if you and this girl are feeling each other. So you don't want to go on an elaborate date where you're spending $100 or $80 or $120 and you don't know if you and this girl are going to click. You know what I'm saying? And also I would say, after you go on a date with a woman, the next time when you contact her, it should be to set up another date. What a lot of guys do is that they go on a date and then they'll end up just texting a girl every day, talking about nothing, but you're not really moving it forward. You know what I mean? So I always say, the next time you text her or call her, just say, hey, how you doing? Had a good time with you. Are you free again, Saturday? Let's get together. And then, you see her again on Saturday. So it's really, just keep it really simple. I think a lot of times guys complicate it by trying to do way too much when they don't really need to.
They're overly aggressive, and they kept saying like all these different things that we're going to do. And it was like, whoa, hold on. It's a little freaky.
Yeah.
So I think just reading each other is a big, what you're saying. I agree with you that you don't just keep dragging it on with small talk.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to pause everything and we're going to switch a little directions, because you're officially a friend of ours. And so we're going to put you through the ringer on a couple things here. And you'll have like this cool relationship segment. But before we get to it, we want to ask you just some really basic questions that we ask every guest that we have, just to pick your brain as an expert in their industry. So very first, what podcasts, video blogs do you listen to like religiously? Is there anything you would recommend to our audience that they could listen to around this topic?
Yeah, they can listen to my podcast, which is the Bad Boy Show.
Okay, I'm gonna type that in.
Is that what it's called? The Bad Boy Show.
It's called the Bad Boy Show, and you can listen to all the episodes on my other website, which is ilooksexynaked.com, and that's one of my blog sites. There's no nakedness on there.
It's a prime site. We're promoting pornography here.
Don't worry about that. But yeah, that's a good podcast. Also, I listen to TariqRadio.com. You can listen to that. He does like a lot of information on relationships sometimes. What else do I listen to as far as relationships go? You Guys Show is awesome, so people just need to keep listening to You Guys Show. And
Midori Show, that's right.
Right, exactly. Who else? There's another guy named Steve the Dean. You can listen to him, and he actually has a show for women called Wife Training. So he teaches you how to be a wife. Yeah, so, it's really good though.
I'm gonna go check that out. Wife Training, really? We're gonna have him on our show.
No, there's no wife training.
We're gonna have him on our show.
Yeah. If anybody needs trained, it's the man.
I think that's it. I'm trying to think, because I listen to a lot of other podcasts, but it has nothing to do with relationships. So
okay, you could name them, because if it's business related or anything, that's our audience is really into that. You got anything else?
Right. Business related podcasts. What do I listen to? I listen to a lot of spiritual, like Alan Watts, Anthony DeMello, like that type of stuff. Tony Robbins,
So you're not just thinking about sex all the time?
Nah, I think about everything.
You actually think about God too, and what do you think about what God thinks about having sex with two women every day? But we won't talk about that. It's all right.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to share that the last 30 seconds. That's awesome.
So, okay, next one is, what book do you recommend that has changed your life or your mentality on life?
Oh, wow. Actually, I have this book right here. And what's this? It's on this book right here is called The Way to Love by Anthony DeMello. This book is the stuff, man. You guys got to get that book. It's really good. You can fit it in your pocket, take it with you everywhere. It's good. Also, I like the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. That was awesome.
Okay.
And what else there's another book called The E-Myth. It's a good business book. I think that's awesome. That's a good book that teaches you like a lot of different things.
What is it? How do you spell it? E-M-I-S?
E-Myth
Yeah, the E-Myth by Gary. Yeah, that's a good book. What else? You know, the classics, How to Win Friends, Influence People, Think and Grow Rich. Like those are like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think Think and Grow Rich, when I first heard no, not Think and Grow Rich. Is it that one? No, the one by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, that's Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, yeah, that book is classic.
Yeah,
it is
so good.
Yeah, it's just timeless.
Okay, the last one. If you can describe yourself in only one word, what would it be?
Honest.
Oh, wow. Yeah. There's honest men in the world?
Yeah. we're around. We're somewhere. We're hiding.
That is true. That is
hiding.
True.
They're in hiding. Yeah. They're not on Tinder.
But but the thing is, a lot of women can't take honesty. That's the reason why guys aren't honest. It's really what it is.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Okay, so now we're getting to the next part where we're going to get to know you on a new level.
Nice.
Super fun. This is called, some of our people who've been here before, they know this show, the Truth or Truth game. And how this works is where you just said you're super honest. So you have to be uber honest.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
And there's no passes. Okay, ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so if you got to be a woman for one day, what would you do during that day?
Wow, I'd probably touch myself all day.
Okay. I have my own boobs.
That's it.
You are so much. How do you share this? I'm sharing the last 30 seconds right now because this is so funny.
I mean, why? I think that's what most guys would do. Yeah.
I can't share it on Facebook. My mom will see it. Okay. Anyways, okay. So, what's a woman's first impression when they meet you? I have options. Are you brilliant, hot, almost on fuego? Are you the life of the party? He looks like a guy who will buy me a drink.
Oh wow, I'd say life of the party. I'm definitely not a drink buyer. They know that off the bat.
Have you not heard what he said?
They're like, this guy's not buying me anything. They already know.
He gave all his money to charity.
What compliment are you most likely to use? A, you look great today. B, you've lost weight. C, you're better looking than my ex. D, you look just like your mom. Or E, you look great for your age.
Wow. I think the first one was that you look great today.
You look great today.
Yeah,
I think that's the safest one. Okay, you are a dating coach. That's awesome.
That is a safe answer, by the way. But okay, so if you could commit any crime and get away with it, what would it be?
Anything?
Yeah,
anything.
Oh man, I'd rob a bank. That would be the one that I'd do. Yeah.
Then you can buy everyone drinks.
I know, exactly.
Or give a whole lot more money away to charity.
Exactly.
We're not sure which one yet.
I think that's the best crime to commit. You get some money after. Just
Okay. Here's a really good question. You ready?
Yeah.
Your lover has delicately suggested that your performance in bed is lacking. What's your reaction? A, I'd ask her to tell me what she didn't like and what she'd prefer. B, I'd be a little upset and embarrassed, but I'd get over it. And C, I'd naturally assume she's insane and I'd break up with her.
Oh, I think C, definitely.
Totally, absolutely insane.
Like, this woman is insane. Are you crazy? Out of therapy.
That's awesome. Okay.
Okay, Locario, that's it. That's all the ringer we're going to put you through. So would you mind to tell our guests how we can stay connected with you after the show and kind of just your spiel on what you're offering?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You guys can check me out at mrlocario.com. That's MRLOCARIO.com. And also, I have a membership program called the Bad Boy Membership. So for you guys out there that really want to step up your game, you can go to badboymembership.com right now and join the membership. You get 45 through 90-minute audio and video tutorials every month, and teaches you different aspects of the dating game to step up your game. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Definitely.
Awesome. So, do you have any, where are you most active? Are you on Twitter or Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter. You can find me on Facebook at Facebook.com/Mr. Locario, or Twitter. You can find me at real Mr. Locario, and also Instagram is also real Mr. Locario. And yeah, that's it. I think, you know.
Great. Okay.
All right, that's awesome.
That's awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. Next week's show, you guys are never going to believe this, but I am putting Midori in the hot seat to talk with her about some really awesome tips on igniting your relationship. So if you're currently involved in a relationship and you want to make it more fun, this is kind of the show to watch too. So it's going to be great.
I think it's a good follow-up to this one. So you get the date, right? You start dating that person, you've slept with them already, and you're digging them.
Yep.
How do you keep it going? How do you keep it fun? How do you keep it going for the next 30, 50 years?
Yeah, lasting. I love it. So my company is a full service, local, national, global social media agency. You can see more on my website at cmedia.net.
And I have a free webinar that started this week where I give you my 2-step system to help you have an amazing relationship and to stop the screaming and the fighting and just get to a better place where your relationship is thriving. And you can find that at midoriverity.com.
Awesome. So remember, if you are looking for more, give more. And we will see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye, everyone.
Bye.